Let's get started on our backs today. So find a comfortable opening shavasana, get your spine meet the mat. And then you can, to start off, you can bend the knees and let the knees fall in towards each other if you like that, a little gentler on the low back. And today we're going to tune into our third chakra, shoulder plexus area. So if you want to take your right hand, place your right hand right below the chest, above the belly button, where you can start to feel your heartbeat and your breathing. Hi, Sarah. So the third chakra represents fire, and I picked it because we're in the middle of summer, and there's also a full moon tonight. So we have a lot of energy going around. It's from the third chakra that we find our power and our will. So keep that in mind as I read this little section. It says, the energy in our bodies is dependent upon our ability to connect, to merge, and to nourish ourselves from what surrounds us. It is dependent on our understanding and comfort with power, with our basic self-confidence, and with the strength of our will and our willingness to change. It is the ability to overcome our own patterns of inertia that we may better direct our lives towards that which we love, that which ignites us, challenges us, and renews us. It is our ability to allow the change of transformation that the chakra brings, and to be a channel for the transformation of the world around us. So when you're really tuned in and you're getting to that flow state, you feel like you're not even having to think, you're just doing. That's the fire within you working through that third chakra. Maybe you can tap into some of those moments. Maybe we're still looking for some of those as well. Take a deep inhale through the nose, beginning our ujjayi breathing. And then a longer exhale out of the nose, 1 or 2 seconds long. Softly close the lips and continue to tune to your ujjayi breathing. Trying to make those ocean wave sounds. All right, we'll start to bend or drop the knees side to side. Releasing that low back. You can begin to open the eyes. Make sure your spine is still connected to the mat here. And then we're going to take a supine figure 4. So right ankle, left knee. Grab it either right in that figure 4 that you just created, or sometimes you can just grab your right shin. Pushing the knee away, but bringing the shin closer towards you. We're warming up that right glute. And then in figure 4, rock side to side as well. Continuing that low back release. Keep your belly button pulling down towards the earth. And then we'll let the knees drop over to the left, a little supine twist. Pick up those hips, bring them back to the center of the mat, cactus your right arm. And if it's comfortable on the neck, let the gaze go to the right. All right, we'll come back to center, readjust your spine nice and neutral, then pick up left ankle to right knee. Figure 4, other side. Same thing, go nice and slow, gently breathing into that left glute. Begin to pull the shin towards you, but press that left knee just gently away. Get deeper to the stretch. Continuing maybe a little rocking back and forth in the low back. And then drop them over to the left, or the right, sorry. Pick up those hips, go back to the center of the mat. Let your left hip stack on top of right. Cactus your left arm, only if it feels comfortable on the neck. Let the gaze go left. And then gently coming back, center. We're gonna move into a happy baby here. Breathe into the hips before we get seated. So grab the outsides or the insides of the feet and gently pulling the knees towards either side of your rib cage. Tapping into where our hips are at today. Maybe one feels a little different than the other. And then we'll release happy baby, grab behind the thighs, rock and roll a few times along your spine until you meet in a seated position. Massage that two muscles on the outside of that spine. And then we'll come to a comfortable cross-legged position. So sitting tall for those sit bones, try to get the sit bones grounded to the mat, nice and tall through the back of your spine, back to the neck. We'll inhale the hands, let them go straight up. And exhale, twist to the right. Right hand drops behind your left hand, right knee. Inhale, find some more length in the spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, back to center, nice and open with the hands. And then exhale, twist to the left. Same thing, other side. Come back to center, come into butterfly. So take the outer ends of those feet together. Begin to give yourself a little foot massage. You can rub the arch of your foot with those thumbs, opening the book. And then for butterfly pose, we're going to fold forward. If you want the heels to be closer to the body, you'll get more hip stretch, low back stretch. Can't remember, let's practice. And if the heels are farther away, you get more low back. That sounds right. Inhale, nice and tall. And exhale, lean the chest forward at your own pace. Whenever you're ready, bowing the head down towards the feet. Your hands can support you on the ground. Keep that belly button engaged, so the belly button is still pulling back and into the spine. Maybe a little bit of an inhale to lift up. Exhale, fold a little deeper. And then pushing back up to seated. We'll come into one more sitting stretch before we get up. We'll take the left heel in towards the body here. Right leg goes out 45 degrees. So it's a low back TDQ stretch. We'll start by taking the right forearm in front of us, drag it over to the right, and then let the left hand go up and over, finding those right toes. So yeah, TDQ stretch with your left heel into the body. Feel the legs opening, but especially that low back on the left side. Gaze wherever is comfortable. And then we'll come back to center, but instead of changing legs, we're gonna take the right foot straight forward and do a forward fold here. So we're gonna turn our chest to be facing directly over that right leg now. So it's right in front of us. Pick up the heel, flex the toes towards the face. Inhale, find length. Yes, you can lift the hands. Exhale, forward fold over right side. This time, warming up the hamstring. Maybe you can touch your toes, flex them back towards your face. Keep your core engaged. And then we lift back to seated and we change the legs. Let that right heel come in. Left leg out 45 degrees. TQ stretch other side. So left forearm comes down in front, scoops over to the left shin. Open your chest to the side wall and inhale, right hand goes up and over. Right hand tries to grab onto left toes. Big opening on that right side. Feel the ribs expanding, fill up the lung. Low back stretch. Keep reaching. And come back to center, nice and gentle. Pull that left leg straight out in front of you. Keep the right heel where it is. Turn your chest to over this left leg first. So we want to make sure those hips are faced forward. Inhale, find length, lift up, nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold over left leg. Let the forehead come down to the shin. Hands supporting you wherever it feels natural. Keep the core engaged. All right, lift up, nice job. We're coming to boat pose. So take those inner thighs together, heels on the mat to start. We'll inhale, find length in the spine. Keep your spine straight. We want to feel like we're lifting from this chest space. Hands down by the side, and when you're ready, lift off your heels for boat pose. This is our exhale position. We'll inhale, find length, let the spine meet the mat. Exhale, back to crunch. 10 more at your own pace. Inhale, find length. Exhale, back to center. Feel the deep core muscles working here. Even your hip flexors are engaged. It's all part of that core area. The slower you go, the harder it will be. So use your breath, tune into your body. Keep going. Inhale finds length, and exhale comes back to center. The more straight you keep those legs, the harder it will be as well. Protecting low back by using the core. A couple more. All right, last one. When we're in boat pose, we'll cross the feet, roll over the knees. Come to tabletop. Nice job, building some heat. So tabletop position, we'll take our cat-cows here. Find stacked wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, drop the belly, let the gaze go up. Exhale, arch the spine, let the head hang heavy. We'll take cat-cows at our own pace, so maybe even closing the eyes. Tuning into your spine, it doesn't matter what anybody's looks like. And maybe even bending the elbows as you transition through these two poses. Nice long movements with the spine, including your head and neck, all the way down to the elbow. Nice job. And then we'll take those hands a little bit farther in front of where they are right now and take nice wide hip circles. So adding some more movement to the spine. Feeling a little bit more warmed up. So let the hips go nice and wide. Let them drop over to the side. Really breathing into the entire length of the spine and getting into the hips. Go both directions. All right, nice job. We'll come back to center, find the stacked tabletop position. And then we're gonna take our right knee out 90 degrees and take some hip circles here, getting both directions into the right hip. Bend that knee 90 degrees and flex the toes forward to protect the ligaments that go over the knee. A couple circles both directions. And then we'll stick that right heel back straight to the back of the room. Tuck the left toes, and on the bottom of an exhale, send the hips high, three-legged down dog. Keep the hips square to the mat here, stretching out the back of the left leg. Keep the right leg in the sky. Send the left heel towards the mat. And then we'll drop back, both knees to tabletop. Same thing, other side. Take that left knee out 90 degrees. Yep, flex those toes towards the face. Hip circles both directions. Breathe into the hip. And then send that heel straight behind you. Lengthen into left leg. Tuck right toes. Exhale. Three-legged down dog. Lift the hips. And then settle the right heel towards the mat. Try to keep the hips square for this one. We're breathing into the back of the right leg. Gaze is back and down dog, back to the leg or up to the belly button. Up to tabletop. Nice job. All right, from here, we'll inhale to thread the needle. So right hand comes up to the sky. Exhale, send it under over to the left. So let's open the shoulders. Let the length of the right arm find the mat. And then we're rolling over the outer edge of the right shoulder. So left hand presses into the mat to help you roll. Keep that core engaged, and if you're feeling strong, lift the left leg for a balancing pose, that inside leg. Use the core to keep you stable. Nice moderation. Nice variations. Returning back to your tabletop position. The slower and controlled you go, the more you'll get out of it. So turning into yourself today. And then inhale left side, sweep the arm high to the sky. Exhale, let the arm go under the body over to the right. Really reach with those fingertips before letting the arm come down. Right hand on the floor. Press your hand into the floor to help roll over that left shoulder. Keep the hips high. Maybe lifting that inside leg for balancing pose. Nice job. And then we return back to tabletop position. Find that stacked. Wrists under shoulders. And then we're going to tuck both toes this time. Lift the knees 2 inches off the mat and hold there. Feel the core engage. All those muscles firing up to keep those knees lifted off the mat. Hands under the shoulders. And then setting up for our first down dog. Lift the hips high to the sky. Send them back. Let the heels settle. For first real down dog here, I'll give you 5 breaths to walk the dog. Bending one knee at a time, dropping it across the body. Breathing to the outside of the other leg. Don't forget that ujjayi, breathing deep ocean wave sounds, especially as we're about to invite some more movement into the body. Feel the breath. Spread those fingers wide, roll the shoulders into each other, gaze is back or down. And we'll look at the space between the hands. Tippy toe to the front of your mat. Keep those hips really high. We'll meet in ragdoll pose, so let the hips be over the heels. Let your belly hang out on the thighs. Grab your elbows and you can sway side to side in ragdoll. Releasing the low back. So really let gravity do the work. Trying to get your head down to the feet. Core is still engaged. Anytime we're in a forward fold, imagine pulling your belly button in, creating space to fold. Maybe straightening one leg at a time. That's okay on the hamstrings. But keeping focus in the low back. Shake out that head yes, and shake out that head no, releasing. Ending on a yes. Then release the hands, roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way to standing. Sorry, my grandpa's calling. Roll all the way to standing, let your head be the last thing to come up, and then we'll take some shoulder rolls. Pulling the shoulders up to the ears and then letting them go back down, feeling that opening across the top of the chest. Meeting in mountain pose, let the feet be under the hips. Hands down by the side. Next inhale, bring the hands overhead. Hinge at the hips, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shine the heart forward. And exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose, hold plank. So plank is using all of our muscles here. Press through the palms, tuck your tailbone back. The highest point on your body is between your shoulder blades. We're going to practice chaturanga today, so everybody drop down to a half push-up. Keep your elbows in towards the body. Don't go lower than your triceps. We're going to hold it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop everything to the mat. Let the hands be under the shoulders. Let the feet press into the mat, a little bit wider than the hips, and we'll inhale, cobra pose. Use the strength of the low back. Press back, exhale to child's pose. Feel the spine go nice and long. Settle those hips back towards the heels. And let the forehead rest on the mat. At any point today, you can take rest in child's pose or down dog. All right, moving forward, come through your tabletop, back to your down dog. All right, inhale, right leg goes high to the sky. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, give it a tap. Inhale the foot high. Second exhale, knee to chest, pull it really high, don't drop the foot. Inhale, the leg goes long. Third exhale, right knee, right elbow, give it a tap. Nice job. This time when you inhale the leg high to the sky,
You can bend the knee and flip your dog, or just hang out in a three-legged down dog. Letting the right foot come all the way to the mat. Press the heels to lift the hips, hand goes back. And return to your three-legged down dog. Nice job, keep that right foot lifted. And then next exhale, low lunge. Bring the foot to the front of the mat, drop your left knee. All right, we're gonna breathe into this low lunge for about 5 to 10 breaths here. Feeling the front of your left hip flexor really open up. So for low lunge, you can press those hands into the knee. I like to use a block here. The sensation should be in the front of this left hip flexor. So inhale, find some length in the spine. Keep the shoulders out of the ears. And exhale, settle a little deeper into the stretch. Next, exhale, sends the hips back for half splits. Straighten that right leg, flex the toes forward. I like to walk my heel a couple inches farther forward. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, fold over your right leg. Real big hamstring stretch here. Last exhale, use it to settle in. And then inhale, we come forward, plant the hands and step your right foot back to down dog. Inhale through the nose, open mouth, exhale. Back. Inhale, left foot high to the sky. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, give it a tap. Inhale the foot long. Second exhale, knee to chest, crunch it really high. Inhale the foot. Second, third exhale, right, left knee, left elbow, give it a tap. Inhale the foot high, and then moving into your flipping dog, wild thing, or stay in the three-legged down dog. Press those heels into the earth to lift the hips. Nice job, left hand reaching forward. And return to your three-legged down dog, keeping left foot in the air if you can, and then exhale to a low lunge. Left foot comes to the front of the mat, drop right knee. Same thing, other side. So we're gonna breathe into this right hip flex. So taking time to open it up. So your low lunge can keep the hands on the mat or maybe press up. When you press up though, you wanna pull your core with you, tuck your tailbone down to the earth to keep the sensation really opening that hip flexor. All right, next exhale, half splits, send the hips back towards right heel, straight into left leg. Flex left toes back towards your face to get into the calf. Inhale, find length in the spine, lift the chest. Exhale, fold, forehead towards left shin. Nice job, we lift up, come forward, step left foot back to meet right, we're in down dog. From here, we'll take it through a sunny back down dog, so at your own pace if you would like, otherwise, exhale, look at the space between the hands, walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift, shine the heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing, come up nice and tall. Exhale, bring the hands through heart center down by the side. Inhale, hands sweep back up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shine heart forward. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Take it through your first chaturanga or lower all the way to your belly for cobra pose. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And exhale, we knee down dog. All right, inhale, right foot goes high to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot, will come up warrior one. Heel to heel alignment, back toes out at an angle. Sweep the hands forward. Deep bend in that front knee. Right away, we're gonna pull this right hip back into its socket. Keep the hips square forward. Deeper bend in that front knee. Back toes out at an angle, yeah. Exhale, drop the hands behind you. Grab your hands or your elbows, whatever you need to open this chest space. And exhale, humble your warrior. Let the chest fall to the inside of that right leg. Hands come up and over here. Release your neck. Maybe even shake out the head a little bit. Make sure you have a good foundation with those feet. And then we're going to release back to warrior one. Hands come straight up. And exhale, warrior two. Open it up. Wider with the hips, maybe even a wider stance. Still heel to heel alignment. Open this right knee, truck it out to the right, settle down. And then exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow, right knee, left hand reaches up and over. One long line from that heel to the fingertips. Keep these warrior two legs. Inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand down, right hand up. Big reach, opening those right rib cage, ribs. And then exhale, half moon pose. We're balancing on right foot, right hand. Lift left heel. Right hand goes high to the sky. Maybe there's a block under those right fingers to keep your chest lifted. Ground down through that right foot. And then sitting up for pyramid or triangle pose, we're gonna drop back foot and slide our right hand into the right foot. Now you can use a block under the right hand. Nice slide. All right, so pyramid pose, keep those left fingers lifted. Using the obliques to keep the chest lifted. And then again, use the core. We're gonna inhale, lift to revolve or to reverse triangle. So left hand back, right hand reaches up and over. Nice job, and then we'll come to center for a wide-legged forward fold. Turn the right toes in. Hands can be on the hips or for more forward, hands out to the side. Inhale, find length in the spine. When you're ready, exhale, forward fold. Nice job. Keep the spine straight as long as you can, and then let the head fall towards the mat. First, wide-legged forward fold. You can bring the hands under your body, gripping onto the mat to help pull you, getting into the back of both legs at the same time. Belly button up and in. Last exhale, use it to get deep into the stretch. And then we'll lift the chest, walk the hands back to the front of the mat, step your right foot back to meet the left, down, or take it through chaturanga vinyasa, or skip it, and meet us in down dog. Always yogi's choice, always use your breath to meet back and down. Inhale, left foot goes high to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot, warrior one. Sweep those hands forward, heel to heel alignment, or your back heel might even be a little bit more out to the right. Getting ready for that humble warrior. First, this left hip, make sure it's back into the socket, deep bend in the front knee. And then exhale, release those hands, take your grip. Could be hands or elbows, doesn't matter. Feel the chest open. And then exhale, humble your warrior. Let the head drop here. Pull the hands up and over. It's a shoulder stretch and building strength in the legs. Lots of focus. Inhale back to that warrior one. Sweep those hands forward. And exhale, open it up, warrior two. Maybe a little bit wider stance. Still heel to heel alignment. Deep bend in that front knee. Track your left knee out. Make sure you can see the big toe. Settle the shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, extend, side angle. Right hand reaches up and over. One long line from heel to fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Keep the legs where they are. Left hand goes up, right hand goes down the back leg or wraps around your low back. Exhale, half moon pose. Your left hand plants in front of left toes. Keep that left heel up and right hand to the sky. Nice job. Use your dristy here. So find a spot on the floor where it's not moving. And then we slide back to triangle pose. Back foot drops about 3 or 4 feet. Back toes are still out, and maybe we'll slide that left hand into left foot. Right hand reaches up. Beautiful triangle pose. Use that core so those left obliques are using you to keep that chest lifted. And then keep the legs as we inhale, reverse triangle. Left hand up, right hand down, yes. And then coming through center for our second wide-legged forward fold. Turn the left toes into pigeon. Hands on hips or more core work. Hands will be out to the side. Inhale, find lots of length. And exhale, fold. Nice job. Let that head try and find the floor or your mat. So if your feet are if your head's pretty far from the floor, take your feet a little wider. If your head's touching the floor, take your feet a little closer. Pull the belly button up and in. Last exhale here, go a little deeper. And then walk the hands back to the front of the mat, framing left foot. Step left foot back to meet right, take the chaturanga vinyasa, or knee down. Yogi's choice. All right, let's move into lizard pose. Inhale, right foot high to the sky. Exhale, let it plant on the outside of the right pinky, drop left knee. We're gonna roll onto the outer edge of that right foot, breathing into our hips and our psoas. And then if you're ready and comfortable, you can lower down to the forearm, but that's not necessary. Everybody's lizard pose will be a little different. But we do want to roll onto the outer edge of right foot and then gently just kind of pushing that knee out. Breathing into different angles of the hip. Use these longer stretches to really soften the body, releasing whatever does not serve us, whether it's tightness or tension, emotion or thought. Softening those areas. Bring those hands under your chest, press up. We're going to go back to down dog. So we're going to right foot back to meet left. Feel how the right hip feels a little more open. And then inhale, left foot high to the sky. Exhale, plant on the outside, left pinky, lower down, lizard pose, other side. Drop that right knee. And then begin to roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. At any time, you can take your variation where you either drop down to the forearm or stamp on the hands. And then gently kind of press that left knee just out and away to get into the deep hip flexor stretch. Noticing if you're holding it in other areas in the hips. I often find my shoulders will be pulled up to the ears and we need to relax. I'm going to hold the shoulders, the face, hips, and feet. Trying to get deep into the stretch. All right, press those hands under you to lift the chest. Step back to down dog. We're going to take it through a side. So look at the space between the hands. Bottom of your exhale, walk step or hop to the front of your mat. Nice job. When you get there, inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands forward, center down by the side. Right away, your inhale, sweeps it back overhead. Exhale, lift up the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, shove the heart forward. Exhale, forward first. Plant the hands, step back, take it through chaturanga vinyasa. Or skip it, meeting down dog. Always tuning into your body. It's your practice, nobody else's. Once we're in down dog, let's inhale, right foot high to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot, will come up high, lunge this time. Right foot forward, left foot back, sweep those hands forward. Deep bend in that front knee. If you don't feel that hip flexor stretch, pull your left knee up into the quad a little more. We want to open that hip. We're going to exhale, prayer hands, twist to the right. Let your left elbow hook on the outside of right knee. Keep those strong high lunge legs. Press the palms together, pull your belly up and in. And then left hand's gonna plant in front of right toes for revolved half moon. So same pose, but other side. Left heel kicks back, right hand reaches up. Our chest is centered, or if anything, it's more over to the right, revolved half moon. Nice job grounding through right foot. We're gonna take this to a warrior three. So your hands come to the center for prayer hands, or out forward for full expression of warrior three. Stay here or bend the knee 5 times for a little pistol squat, building strength in that right leg. You just bend the knee a little and then go back to warrior three. Nice job. After 5, plant your hands, standing splits. Left heel goes high, head goes down towards your right foot. Lots of work on the right leg. Keep breathing into that hamstring. Nice job. And then we're going to plant back foot for pyramid pose. So heel to heel alignment, back toes out at an angle. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, fold over right leg, pyramid pose. So intense stretch on the back of your right leg. Release your head, so maybe you can shake out that neck a little. We don't have to hold up the head here. Breathe into the back of your right leg. All right, you can step right foot back to meet left. Take it through Chaturanga Vinyasa or skip it, knee and down dog. Use your 2 powerful inhales and exhales to get you back to down dog. Always going at your own pace. You'll always meet us in down dog, no rush. All right, we're gonna stay on the right side. Inhale, right foot high to the sky. Yes, right foot again. Exhale, plant the foot, warrior 2. Cartwheel those hands open. Left hand back, right hand forward. All right, inhale, reverse warrior. Left hand down, right hand up. And then exhale, extended side angle. This time coming into a bind with that shoulder if that's in your practice. Or just holding extended side angle. If you want to wiggle right shoulder under right knee and grab your back bind with your hands, you're welcome to take bird of paradise here. Grounding through the right foot as you pop your left foot forward. And then eventually you're going to move all the way into that left foot and begin to pull your right foot completely off the mat as you lift the chest. Keep grounding through left foot. Eventually, your right toes will kick forward. Nice job. Keep practicing. And then when you're ready, return back to extended side angle, releasing the bind. Nice job. All right, we're going to move to our 3rd wide-legged forward fold. So bring that chest through center. Pigeon those toes. Inhale, find length in the spine, lift the chest. Exhale, 3rd of 4 wide-legged forward fold. Take a different variation this time. So maybe there's an inversion in your practice if you want to play with an inversion. Yes, beautiful spinal twist. You can take the shoulders or the hands clasped together overhead to get into those shoulders. And keep pulling your belly button up to your spine. Using that giant breathing. All right, release the hands to the mat. Go back to the front, turning right foot. Step right foot back to meet left. Take it through your Chaturanga Vinyasa. Skip it, knee and down dog. From down dog, we're going to drop to the knees and take a puppy pose before we get to the left side. So drop the knees, let the hips be stacked over the knees. Walk your hands really far forward, similar to that down or to the child's pose. So fingers reach forehead forward, forehead rests on the mat. And then if you're not feeling it in the front of those shoulders, maybe come up onto the fingertips, adding a little bit more of a stretch. The focus here is a nice release through the front of the shoulders, sinking into the chest a little. Keep those hips high, keep the core engaged.
Maybe returning back to that third chakra, our solar plexus, where we find our power, our will. Just noticing whatever it brings up for you. Where's your power at? Where's your will? All right, we're gonna come back to down dog. Getting ready for left side. Beautiful job. We'll inhale, left foot high to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot. We'll come up high lunge. Sweep those hands forward. Deep bend in that front knee. Make sure you can see that big knee, that big toe though. And then this is also, it's a working pose. Straighten the legs, bless you. We're also still stretching out that hip flexor. So pull this knee up into the quad if you don't feel it. Exhale, for hands, twist to the left. Right elbow, left knee. When you get the connection, begin to pull your belly back to the spine. Press the palms together, adding spinal twist. Revolved half moon, right foot kicks up, right hand lands on the floor in front of your toes, left toes. Left hand high to the sky. Grounding through left foot this time. And then slow and controlled warrior three. Bring that chest back to center, hands at heart center or out in front. Yogi's choice. Staying here or adding the 5 pistol squats, bending left knee and standing back up. Really working that glute and our balance. Last one, nice job. Plant the hands, standing splits. Right foot goes up. Head releases down to the floor. Breathe into the back of your left leg. Release out the head here. We don't have to hold up the neck. Shake it out, yes and no. If you're up, you do the work. Breathe into the back of your left leg. Pyramid pose. We'll drop right heel, 3 to 4 feet behind left. Heel to heel alignment, back toes out at an angle. Straight into both legs. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, fold over your left leg. Pyramid pose, other side. Nice job. Relax into the pose. Try to let your forehead come down to the shin. Keep both legs straight. Belly button pulling out to the spine. All right, we're going to lift the chest and come to center for our 4th and final wide-legged forward fold. Turn those left toes into pigeon. Inhale, find length in the spine, lift up, and exhale, fold. Last one. So if you have an inversion here, it could be a headstand, it could be a forearm stand. You can go to the wall and play around with an inversion if you'd like. We'll do about 10 breaths here. Last wide-legged forward fold. Nice job. Keep pulling that belly button in. Nice release. All right, wherever you're at, we'll walk back to the front of the mat, bringing that left. Take a good chaturanga vinyasa. Skip it down. Using your breath to get there. Exhaling to chaturanga or to your belly. Inhale up, dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot high to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot, come up, warrior 2. Cartwheel left hand forward, right hand back. Deep bend in that front knee. Inhale, reverse warrior, open that rib cage on the left side, and then exhale, extended side angle. Left elbow, left knee. And then taking that bind, yes. If you want to move to birded paradise, you can wiggle left elbow under left shoulder. Walk that right foot forward. Grounding through right foot so much, yes. Popping up. Eventually straightening into that left foot, kicking it forward. Yeah, you got it, Lee. Nice, Dustin.
Pull your belly button in, lift tall, and release. Nice job. Do we have to extend? All right, plant those hands. Step back, take a reach on rubber vinyasa, sweep the knee down. I think I added part of the before, so last little. That was hard enough. All right, from down dog, we'll take a breather, drop those knees, child's pose. Let the knees go wide, let the hips go back to the heels. We'll take a little side body stretch here. We can walk both hands over to the right. Reach through those left fingertips. Settle the weight back into the left heel. Breathe into those left ribs, opening the lung, and settling down to the mat. And then take the hands through center over to the left. Reach through the right fingers, send the weight back into the right hip. All right, we'll come forward and then we'll come onto our bellies. So just coming out of child's pose. Let the legs go long, come onto the belly. And then we'll do one shoulder stretch before going on our backs. So let's stick out the left arm, perpendicular from the body. And then begin to roll over onto the left. Press your hand into the mat, right hand into the mat. Stack your right hip on top of left. And then if you feel comfortable to take your right hand off the floor, you can maybe take it to your right hip. Maybe even taking your right hand all the way back to the left. And then we'll gently come through center and over to the right. Stick that right arm out perpendicular from your body and then roll over onto the right shoulder. Feel the stretch in front of the shoulder going all the way through the chest. Left hand, left hip. Or maybe taking left hand all the way back to meet the right. Let the head be comfortable on the mat. Coming back to center. And then using this little turn to roll over onto the back so you can stay facing whichever direction you like, turn around and face the front. Once you get onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug, wrap the forearms around the thighs, pull yourself into a nice little tight ball. Rock side to side, release the low back. And then moving into second happy baby. Grabbing outsides or inside of both feet. Pull those knees to the mat beside you. Noticing how much more open we are. Tuck your chin down to the chest a little. Find a ton of length through the back, all the way through the neck. And then pull those knees a little bit closer to the mat. Using your exhales to open up and release. All right, nice job. Release out of happy baby. We're going to kick the heels to the ceiling and come into our last little version of class. Moving up into shoulder stand, you'll press those hands into the mat, get some momentum. Swing those hips nice and high. Make sure you can catch your low back with those two hands. Wiggle your shoulders in towards each other, your elbows. Coming up onto the shoulders, your hips will stack over the shoulders. Yogi's choice for those legs. Play around with it, maybe taking splits. Or you could take a butterfly pose. Try to hold it for 5 to 10 breaths. Use your focus. Once you have a pose, try to hold it. And then after those 5 breaths, maybe drop into plow pose. You can let those feet come overhead. Big low back release here. So only moving to plow pose if your body's ready for it. You'll grab those hands together underneath you, let the feet drop to the floor. And then full expression of plow pose, you want to straighten into those legs. So pull the knees up into the quads. And then slowly lower it 1 vertebrae at a time. Let your tailbone be the last thing to come out. So use your hands to keep you nice and slow as you come down. Nice job. We'll let the knees come back into the chest and then let them drop over to the right for a final supine twist. Lift those hips back to the center of the mat. Left foot's going to wrap around your right leg. Cactus your left arm and let the gaze go left. Right hand comes onto left thigh to keep the weight down. Supine twist right side. Tuning back in to where we were at the beginning of class. Using this as a final stretch, really bring out the spine. Good amount of twisting today. Surrendering into the pose, onto the mat. Gently come back to center. Find symmetry with that spine. And then pull the knees into the chest, let them drop over to the left. Same thing, other side. So your supine twist can look a couple different ways, but one thing we do want is the right hip to be stacked on top of left. Maybe wrap your right foot around that left leg to keep it from lifting. Cactus your right arm. Gaze goes to the right. Feel the neck going all, or the stretch going all the way to your neck. Last real stretch of class, so try to feel it the entire length of that spine. Nice big twist. And then coming back to center. At this time, taking any last stretches, any last movements that are calling your name. Making this practice truly yours. Listen to your body. Any last stretches that it needs before we settle into our final closing class. When you're ready for Shavasana, let those legs go long, toes are out to the side. Tuck your chin down to the chest just a little. Make sure the back of the head is nice and tall. If you want to tune back in to our third chakra, our solar plexus, so take that right hand back to your head. And for the next few minutes, dedicating this time to yourself. Welcome to Shavasana.
Open your back into the body, bending toes, on the head side to side. And then you can reach the hands overhead like it's the first stretch of the day, a long body stretch. And then roll over onto your favorite side, using your arm as a pillow. And then gently pushing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll meet sitting cross-legged, grounded thoracic bones, hands resting palm socket on the knees, a gentle bow of the head. Last inhale together, let's reach those hands overhead. Collecting a ball of energy between the palms, and then exhale down to your third eye center. Tuning into our third eye. We're here, we're all connected. The light of me sees and honors the light of me. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.